This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network.
Visit bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Welcome in, everyone, and thank you for listening to the 50th ever episode of the Missouri Sports Podcast, brought to you by 106 Apparel and recording from the Rebel Advertising Studio in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Albert, alongside my good friend and fellow Mizzou fan, Kyle DeVries. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing great, Cameron. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I'm just happy to have you. I do care if you're good or great or whatever you usually say, but I think the listeners are probably all wondering what that sound they heard was before our nice little intro music and our intro there, because they heard our first promo for Big Heads Media Podcast Network, because we have been invited to join a podcast network and we accepted their invitation. So just a few quick changes. Nothing as far as like content wise will really be changing with the show. You will start to see some ads pop up here and there. There'll be some ads for other podcasts on the network, as well as just some ads that they'll send us that we'll do some live read type things live because it's recorded. But hopefully that's okay with everyone. We appreciate you still listening. This is, like I said last week, a great time to jump on board and start listening to our show, because we're heading for a really important football season for Mizzou football, and we're going to be talking about the schedule coming up. We've talked about the players. We're going to do a really cool 7-on-7 draft this week. But the show that you have enjoyed so far won't be changing. There'll just be some ads, and we're really excited to be part of a podcast network. Hopefully we get some cool opportunities from that. And I don't really want to slow down or just stay the same with kind of what we're putting out there. So my goal is, through this podcast network, it'll maybe open up some opportunities for us to do some more content, maybe on YouTube, maybe some vlog type videos when we go to games and stuff. So those are some of the ideas I've been thinking about, and we're really excited to do it, and I hope everybody supports us in that. You can have a response if you like.
You just absolutely nailed it, Cameron. I'm so proud of you. That was so well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so just stay tuned for any of that stuff. If we decide to do anything on YouTube or whatever it is, we will let you know. So yeah, I appreciate you guys listening and helping us get to where we are.
So I just completely ignored you when you said how you were doing today. So do you want to elaborate on anything?
No, not really. Just great. Just straight up and down.
Okay. Well, like I teased a little bit, we're going to be doing a 7-on-7 draft. It's going to be really special, and it's made even more special because we have a special guest in the studio with us. If you've been listening to us for a while, you might recognize him. It's Producer Cameron. Producer Cameron is back, folks.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us for this special occasion. It is our 50th episode.
I wouldn't miss it.
And we just passed the year mark a couple weeks ago, and it's just crazy that we've been doing this for a year and that we will have put out 50 episodes by the time this goes out.
Yeah, it's weird. I went back and listened to one of our first episodes earlier today, and I mean, I probably still do the same annoying stuff that I did then, but it was still like a little bit weird. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a year ago that we started.
I feel like it really flew by. I mean,
yeah.
Even the off season, of course, we did every other week there for a little while, but
I definitely thought it was going to be really hard to find like content at certain times in the year, but we always find something to talk about.
Oh yeah. We cheated there on one episode that was just our favorite Mizzou moments, but it had a really good response because it's now our number one most listened to episode. So people really liked it, apparently. And it looks like we've added some listeners here in the last few weeks because some of our more recent episodes are charting well among all of our past episodes.
Yeah, it's the hype for the football season coming up. So, and I am right there with you guys. So we're super stoked to get started. It's gonna be fun.
So before we get on to the 7-on-7 draft, we have some news to go over, and I've got this kind of in no particular order, so some of it might seem kind of random. But the first thing I have here is that Emmanuel Hall was cut by the Bears, but then picked up by Tampa Bay. So he joins former Tigers Blaine Gabbert and Terry Beckner Jr. in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing for Emmanuel Hall potentially in the long run. I mean, I don't know if he's going to stick anywhere, but if he's going to, I think this is a good shot for him because I really think the Bucs like to throw the ball. I mean, they've got Jameis Winston, obviously, and their offensive coordinator, whose name escapes me at the moment, Bruce Arians. Or is he their head coach? No, he's their – I think he's their offensive coordinator. Sorry
we'll
to
get
put you
research
on the
on
spot.
that.
Yeah, please, research department, help us out. But no matter who is there, they like to throw the ball deep, and they did a ton last year with Fitzpatrick, if you remember that.
Bruce Arians is the head coach.
Head coach. Interesting. Okay, so I think Hall definitely has a good shot because if you have watched any Mizzou football games in the past, you know that Emmanuel Hall likes to run really far and catch deep balls, and he's really good at it. So I think the offense in Tampa Bay suits him well. I don't really think that's really what Chicago wanted to do. I mean, they're more of a, I don't know, kind of small ball team. So on offenses at least. So I think it'll be a good fit for him.
Fun fact: Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator is Byron Leftwich.
Really?
Yeah. He was obviously a former quarterback.
It's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. So next item on the news. Yeah, I'm super excited though for Emmanuel Hall just to hopefully get some healthy game time. I mean, I feel like teams will be able to utilize his speed and he'll be successful if he finds the right spot and can stay healthy.
Definitely. Oh, by the way, producer Cameron, since you're here, you are a Denver Bronco fan.
Yes.
Have you been able to watch any Drew Lock?
I watched the Hall of Fame game a little bit.
Okay, so that was the first game.
Yeah, and I haven't really got to see any. Well, I guess they've only played one other game.
They played 2 games.
So I didn't get to. I haven't seen any of the video from last week.
Gotcha. Yeah, his first game he
played.
I mean, it was his first NFL game ever, so
I mean,
whatever. But his second game, I think did we talk about this last week?
A little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
Well he played a lot better. He had like 20 something passing attempts, played a lot of the game, and had a touchdown as well. So good to see some week to week improvement.
Yeah, I mean it's nice that he's getting a lot of playing time during preseason.
Yeah.
Next news item. Mizzou football got a commitment from Montra Edwards Jr.
Yeah,
that is a name I have never heard before I saw the tweet that he committed.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It completely came out of nowhere. Almost like Axel Okongo style. That was just like, who in the world is this dude? But he is a defensive tackle from Mississippi. And his offer list was among one of the most impressive I have ever seen of anyone to commit to Mizzou. It was just nuts. I think I tweeted out some of the schools that had offered him, and I'll look that up really quick and just read off a couple of those because there's definitely some heavy hitters. No way to really know if all of these are committable or not, but it's still definitely some legitimate interest, I would assume, from some of these schools. But some of the schools that Rivals lists as his offers are from Arizona State, Auburn, Florida, Florida State, LSU, Michigan, Oregon, Tennessee, West Virginia, and probably like 20 more, literally. So,
wow,
very good to. That's one of the first things I look at, as far as usually how promising a prospect is just like, all right, who else was in on this guy? And that's not always gospel, but that's definitely a pretty good clue as to his demand in the market. So that's a good thing to see, that a lot of teams, a lot of very reputable programs wanted the services of Montra Edwards Jr. So look forward to...
What position does he play?
Defensive tackle.
Okay.
So looking forward to getting to know him a little bit better. Missouri has a nice class shaping up. They have several other defensive linemen committed. I think they have 3 DNs, and I think Edwards is probably the second defensive tackle to commit in this class. So lots of bodies coming in next year.
Next up, we got... Go ahead.
I was just going to say Brooke Haley's getting it done.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we got some bad news. Tight end Brendan Scales out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken bone in his foot. So second year in a row that a potential contributor at the tight end position has gone down in the preseason. Yeah,
that's a real bummer because it really seemed like he had kind of turned a page and was really looking promising in this camp so far. In our tight end position, it's just a disaster with health issues right now. Obviously, Alberto has had some issues on and off throughout college, and he really hasn't. He had like a knee sprain like a week ago. Hasn't really practiced much since. I think Daniel Parker Jr. has been out the last couple of days with whatever, I don't even know. And now obviously Scales is out. So I would definitely look for the incoming freshman. I'm going to probably butcher this, but his name is Nico He. His last name is spelled Hea, and I don't know how to say that, but it's something like that. So look for Nico to definitely shed the red shirt this year, and he will probably see the field and special teams. He could even potentially get some run at tight end with just all the depth issues. We also have Messiah Swenson, who looked very promising, but now he's coming off an ACL injury. So all five, 4 of the 5 tight ends have got some health issues right now. So it might be a little bit interesting.
Well, hopefully Alberto is good to go for game 1 and the rest of the season, and we just don't really have to worry about that too much.
I agree with you on that, Cameron.
Next piece of news, and last thing I have, unless we add anything, the coaches, all SEC teams were released, and Missouri had a pretty good showing. 3 players on the first team with offensive lineman Trevor Wallace-Sims, tight end Albert Okwuegbunam, linebacker Cale Garrett. Second team, we had DeMarcus Acey. I misspelled it.
I just realized why you laughed.
Yeah. Third team, we had Larry Roundtree, Yasir Durant, Jordan Elliott, and Tucker McCann.
Looks like you meant to type CB for cornerback AC, but you just typed CD any.
I must not have been paying attention too much there.
That's okay. We knew what you meant. You knew what you meant.
Oh yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Is there? I'm also editing the document right now as I'm saying it, and in my head you were seeing my edits, even though you're looking at a piece of paper.
You thought I was looking at like a physical like Google document, yes. like a 3D printed Google document. No, no real big surprises. I think maybe honestly, I think Cale Garrett. I've said a million times, I think Cale Garrett is one of the most important players on the team. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was second or third team. I feel like outside of Mizzou, he doesn't typically get the respect maybe that he deserves, but definitely got some serious respect here on first team. I mean, that's saying a lot
by the coaches,
for a middle linebacker. Yeah, definitely the coaches clearly respect Mizzou this year.
Is there anybody on the team that you think could creep onto one of these lists by the end of the year? I know I'm putting you on a spot there.
Let me think about that for a second. I think Jordan Elliott, he's third team. I think he has a chance to be higher than that at the end of the season. I feel
like the SEC always has so many good defensive linemen.
The line is really like...
You could kind of take the top 8 guys and they're all going to be really good.
I think the trenches is honestly what sets the SEC apart from other leagues. But I think Christian Holmes maybe has a chance to get there. And I think both safeties, Bledsoe and Gillespie, both have a chance to get on one of these lists. I think that the secondary is going to be very much improved than it has been in the last couple of years. Obviously, that's kind of it can't be a lot worse.
Right.
So that's not saying a lot, but I really do think the secondary could be pretty good this year. I think Ryan Walters was quoted in an article today or yesterday saying that Bledsoe and Gillespie could potentially be 2 of the best safeties he's ever coached if they continue to play as well as they have been practicing. So that's obviously pretty strong words.
How about Mr. Kelly Bryant?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I think he has a chance to be second or third team for sure. Obviously, Tua and Fromm are going to be really tough to take out in the first couple teams, but definitely has a shot.
Yeah, if you look at this list right here, the coaches, I think, really nailed the most important players on Missouri's roster.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
outside of Kelly Bryant.
I mean, obviously, the coaches are probably, knee deep in this stuff way more than anybody else in the world. But I still feel like some of these guys are easy to miss. Wallace Sims and Durant, they're offensive linemen. Sometimes you can overlook how much of a difference those guys make if you're not watching the team every game to game or whatever it is. So I respect the coaches for realizing how good our offensive line is, and some of these guys getting mentioned is really cool.
Another team that was announced was the CBS Sports All-American team, preseason All-American, and Missouri's Albert Okwuegbunam made first team All-American according to CBS Sports.
Wow. I think a stat I saw recently was Alberto has played, I think, 19 career games, and he has 18 total touchdowns. So almost averaging a touchdown per game.
He's been putting up numbers.
He's been putting up the numbers. So that's, I mean, is that nationwide? That's for all teams?
All-American.
All-American. That is
CBS Sports preseason All-American.
if he can have a good season, which honestly I think the biggest thing is if he can stay healthy, he's probably going to be a first-round pick next year in the NFL draft, and very well could possibly live up to some of that All-American hype.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in this conversation at the end of the year, he would have had an amazing season, and probably would end up a first-round pick. I mean, you look at the first-round picks from the tight end position this past season, and I think physically and skill-wise, he's right up there with those guys if he can stay healthy.
Which he hasn't exactly been able to do consistently, but
he's gonna do it this year.
This year's the year.
All right. So, any last-minute news that I left out, or anything you wanted to mention?
I saw Geist is going to be playing in Germany.
That's true. I did leave that out. Jordan Geist got picked up by a pro team in Germany. So, congratulations to him.
What did that post say? It's going to get Geisty.
Yeah.
In Germany. Very, very cool.
Yeah. I never really Geisty. I don't know. Never was really in love with that term. I don't know. I kind of want all the players to be Geisty, I guess, because that was what they would say when he would be, diving on the ball or diving on the ground for loose balls and
kind of like,
getting in the opponent's heads a little bit.
Like feisty with a G.
Well, sure, of course.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
Okay, that was just like really obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then that's all the news, and we're ready for the 7-on-7 draft. So,
let's check the official count research department. Is it a tie?
It's a tie.
What? So we put a poll out on Twitter, letting the listeners or our Twitter followers choose who got the first pick, and you guys failed us because we're at 50% tie, but also
dead tie. It's ridiculous.
I don't think either one of us actually wanted the number one pick because there's a lot of pressure that comes along with that, and you don't want to make the wrong choice. And sometimes in a snake draft, having the second, third pick is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So
what do we do?
What do you do now?
We flip a coin now?
Yeah,
I suggested that we have a rap battle.
I'm going to decline the invitation to rap battle.
Okay, that's fine. I probably would agree.
I have this.
What is that?
That's not very official.
I have this.
How do we not think to get a coin?
We can get a coin.
Pick a number between 1 and 20. We probably would both be the equidistant and continue the tie.
All right, don't know how much of that we're going to cut out, but I retrieved a quarter from my wife. She said she needs it back because it is her Aldi quarter. It's how she gets a shopping cart at the grocery store.
All right, try not to lose it, man.
Right.
Kyle, you can call it. You can just decide.
No, that's fine.
Call it in the air. You gonna catch it and flip it?
Yeah, I'll catch it and flip it.
Okay.
All right. Big Heads Media.
It is Big Heads Media.
Okay.
Wow.
So what does that mean?
What a
I get to
plug.
choose?
You get to choose if you want the first pick or you can defer.
Oh God. All right.
I'm not even ready for this draft.
I haven't even thought about who I would pick, even if I had the first pick. So that means I'm going to go second.
Oh my gosh, I did not want that to happen. All right,
Let me get my pen.
we can pause and I can
Go
cut
through
out
all my
pauses.
my documents that I brought.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even prepared, he says, as he pulls out his list of players.
I wrote a bunch of names down, but I didn't really think about who I would actually pick in that situation. Okay, so what I think we decided upon is let me make this very clear before the draft. Every player, we're both going to pick 7 players.
Yeah.
7-on-7. Every player has to play both offense and defense. So that'll
NFL
obviously
Street style.
Like the video game NFL Street.
Yes,
you
that'll
played that,
obviously
that's how it works.
heavily influence our picks.
Right.
So
we're looking for versatility. We're looking for
well-rounded guys maybe that played both ways in high school or something like that, whatever it is. And I think what we've decided also on offense is that we're going by 3 offensive linemen, 2 wide receiver, a quarterback, and a running back. And then your defense can kind of be whatever you feel.
right. And offensive linemen, obviously, there are going to be 3 players down in
Right.
front.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like
Actually, offensive linemen.
right.
All right, so I've got the first pick. I don't know what I want to do here. I guess also the winner of this little competition is determined by a Twitter poll. So I feel like I need to kind of that does weigh into.
You want to pick some big names?
Yeah, I
know.
want to have the
I thought about that.
crowd pleasers on my team. So I guess I'm just gonna go with the hype man himself and take Kelly Bryant with the number 1 pick.
Oh dang! I just started writing in something else. I thought you were about to pick Larry Roundtree, who I'm
No.
gonna pick.
Okay, go for it.
Sorry, we're like writing all this down. Okay, so you picked Kelly Bryant. All right, so Cameron picked a quarterback, so I am going to wait on a quarterback. So I picked Larry Roundtree as my running back and I guess linebacker. So I'm gonna look for a player that can play offensive line and defensive line, and I'm gonna pick Jordan Elliott.
Yeah, those are exactly who I would have picked with my first 2 picks if I was picking second.
Well, how do you know I would have picked Kelly Bryant?
Well, yeah, good point. Good point. Okay, so I hate this.
Can we get like the like Jeopardy theme song to play?
I'm gonna cut out these big pauses.
We can put a clock up on the wall, speed it up a little bit.
Cameron, you are on the clock.
Oh, thanks. I am going to pick Christian Holmes.
I like that pick. I think he played wide receiver in high school.
And I'm also going to pick Jonathan Johnson.
So it looks like you secured your 2 wide receivers and cornerbacks. So it probably means you're not going to be picking any more, though, so I could probably continue to wait on my wide receivers. Unless you get fancy on me and do something crazy.
I might.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick Jalen Knox because you still need a running back, and I think Jalen Knox played running back in high school. And you know what? I am going to go ahead and pick my other wide receiver cornerback because I think this guy's too valuable to leave on the board, and that's Tyree Gillespie. Gillespie.
We'll never know.
We will hopefully know soon. I think
When the
he
media
played.
guide. I could look at last year's media guide, and it
Yeah,
would probably
we
have the
should probably do that.
pronunciation in there.
I picked him because he is very valuable defensive back, obviously, but I think he has been said as one of the fastest players on the team and played running back in high school, so he's a great athlete.
And I should explain my pixel, I guess, a little bit more. I picked Jonathan Johnson because the same reason I picked him last year. A really fast receiver and also versatile enough to take advantage of some option plays coming from the wide receiver spot, maybe in a jet sweep or something like that.
Makes sense.
My turn? No.
Who's your 4th pick? Oh, no, you've only picked 3 people, right?
Right.
You do 4 and 5 now.
Okay.
You know Jonathan Johnson's like 700 yards away from that. We talked about that last week.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my quarterback. I've got my receivers / DBs. I'm going to actually stick with the offensive side of the ball. Partly, I'm going to pick one of the best crossover players on the team. I'm going to pick Daniel Parker Jr.
That was going to be my next pick. Very good, very good.
Obviously, we know he's got the best hands in the SEC, and he has that defensive line pedigree. I think he will be able to get after the quarterback.
That's a great pick. I love that little plug you just made for him, like best hands in the SEC.
I'm trying to like chart my players onto the field while I pick them so that I know where everybody goes.
Watch me like forget to pick a quarterback.
I don't know what I'll do with Kelly Bryant on defense exactly. He's fast enough. He'll probably be like a safety maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so I need to pick another player that will be on the offensive line, but I want to shore up my defense a little bit more, and I'm going to do that by picking Cale Garrett, and I'm just going to hope that he can block maybe a little bit.
Probably.
He will definitely try really hard.
That's definitely true.
Now you get to pick your 5th and 6th.
All right, so I still need to pick 2 linemen and a quarterback. So, and I can wait on quarterback until my last pick, unless you do something absolutely suicidal. And which I don't think you will. And I'm just gonna pick 2 linemen here. Oh goodness. I guess I'm gonna pick Albert O. I don't know. That's actually terrible because he wouldn't even be receiving in this. He'd just be playing strictly.
You can send your guy out.
You can?
Yeah, you can send him out as a tight end.
I'm gonna pick Albert O then.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna look for another offensive defensive lineman, and I'm gonna pick Akale Byers. He's been very versatile for the defensive line at his time at Mizzou. Last year he switched to defensive end just because we lacked depth there, and I think he's going to switch back to defensive tackle this year, so I'm just going to assume that he could probably also figure out offensive line as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Versatility is the name of the game here. All right, so I obviously still need to pick a running back, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick up Tyler Beatty.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that hurt you that he's not on your team?
No, I understand. I got Jalen Knox. I'm good.
Although, I guess Tyler Beatty's going to play a linebacker for me, and Cale Garrett's going to be a defensive end, and not his normal linebacker spot.
You could just only have one linebacker, and just have Beatty kind of play like a hybrid position. You can do that on defense, I guess.
I have like Kelly Bryant as like a safety, and then I already have 2 corners.
Gotcha.
And then if I put Cale Garrett at like linebacker, I don't know. I'll get creative with it. So what am I missing? Another.
Still need a lineman?
I guess so. I'm going to do another throwback pick to last year. I really, really wanted to just go ahead and pick Yasir Durant and have like an actual offensive lineman. But, oh, man, this is tough. Actually, I am just going to pick a offensive lineman, but it's going to be Trevor Wallace-Sims. I'm going to go with the coaches, the first-team All-SEC offensive lineman. That's a steal with the last pick.
You're going to be really good at blocking one of my guys at least.
Yeah.
All right, and then my last pick is going to be pretty easy, and I'm going to pick for my quarterback, Lindsey Scott Jr.
I'm pretty sure he was your quarterback last year.
Yeah, I think he was.
Over Drew Lock. Wow.
Over Drew Lock. I remember I had to explain that for like a while, like why I was doing that.
Well, I picked Michael Wilson last year, so.
But it made sense.
Yeah. All right, I'll run through my team real quick. I've got Kelly Bryant, Christian Holmes, Jonathan Johnson, Daniel Parker Jr., Cale Garrett, Tyler Beatty, and Trevor Wallace-Sims.
And I have Larry Roundtree, Jordan Elliott, Jalen Knox, Tyree Gillespie, Albert O, Akale Byers, and Lindsey Scott Jr.
Man.
I really wish there was a way we could actually decide a winner here.
Last year I popped in NFL Street, the video game for PS2, and
You would.
tried to create our teams. However, you can only create them in the single player mode where you go on to play NFL teams. You can't, there's no way to like save them as a team that you can play with, or save the players as players you can play with. Just
very
in
disappointing.
pickup games and stuff. I'm going to look into the details of maybe NFL Street Volume 2 and see if that's any different, and we'll see what we can do. Or I'll do some research into that, see if maybe we could put together a matchup of these two teams in the virtual gridiron.
If anybody knows Barry Odom, just like let him know, like we want to make this happen. So
Yeah,
maybe you could do. You just like, hey, can you like gather these dudes up and make this happen?
Oh, you mean in real life? An
That-
IRL matchup?
real-
I am
real
talking
life.
about real life, Cameron.
I mean, yeah.
One of them gets hurt playing in this like 7-on-7 thing. I feel bad for the rest of my life.
It could just be part of practice, or just
Yeah.
have a little scrimmage.
Wait, so is this-
7-on-7 drills?
Is this
It's
two-hand
not the
touch or
same,
tackle?
actually, but
Well, in NFL Street, it's tackle
Okay.
with no pads,
Gotcha.
also 7-on-7 in
helmets.
real life.
That's
It's
a little
not the
violent.
same.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah. Real life 7-on-7, you don't have linemen.
Linemen. Yeah, it's like
True.
skill players.
Well, I feel really good about my team, even though I didn't really want to have the first overall pick. I feel like I had to take Kelly Bryant, and now my bond with him is greater than I ever could have imagined because he's on my team.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to root against him all year now. Look what you've done.
So we're gonna are we gonna post the full teams on Twitter, or make people listen to the episode so they know who's on whose team?
I think I'll just post the full team, and if people want to listen to the podcast for our explanations and stuff, they can do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think very many people are going to vote if they can't see the teams.
Yeah. Yeah. They might forget. They don't have to listen to the podcast while they're trying to tabulate their vote. But yeah, everybody will have to go on Twitter and tell us whose team would win in a fictional matchup where both teams have to play offense and defense. And when we tweet out the teams, you might see us in there trying to give our case for
Really jockey for our team.
why our team should win. Cameron, what do you think? Producer Cameron, what do you think looking at these rosters? Producer Cameron unfortunately missed our player breakdown episode.
You don't.
And about the
Yeah, I'm not
30
gonna try
episodes
and act
before
like I
that.
listened to the episode.
We understand your honesty. It's okay to say you don't know sometimes.
I don't really know, but probably Kyle.
Oh my gosh! you
Going
gotta
for
be
the
kidding me.
repeat.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The
I
world's
would like to
against us.
I'd like to remind the listeners that according to you, the voters, I was the champion of last year's 7-on-7 draft. So I thank you very much for that, everyone, and I hope to be the repeat champion this year.
That's okay. We are happy to be underdogs. We got that chip on our shoulder. We're ready to prove people wrong. So
What are you saying, we?
me and my team, me and Kelly Bryant,
True.
Daniel Parker Jr. and I, all of us together, our team, we're ready to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah, I really
And
think
I see two of them in this room right now.
Yeah. Man, Kelly's going to be like on those option plays this year. He's instead of handing off to Larry Roundtree, he's going to be like, nope, got to throw a touchdown for Cameron.
But when Tyler Beatty's in the game,
That's
It doesn't
true.
matter.
That's
Win-win.
true. Oh gosh, man, you could really have the double up on me there.
yes. And then he throws a pass to Jonathan Johnson. Game over.
True.
Yeah,
There was
you had,
another
like, a
poll
player
asking who we should pick with their number one pick. Who
Yes,
people
you're
would
exactly
pick with
right.
their number one pick.
Yeah, we had two polls. First poll was who should have the number one pick, and that was a dead tie. So thanks a lot for that, everyone. And then the second poll was if you had the number one pick, who would you pick? And so the options that I just threw out there were Kelly Bryant, Larry Roundtree, and Jalen Knox. And then I also made a little option for someone else. So
Jalen Knox. Did anybody pick Jalen Knox?
yeah, Kelly Bryant was 28%, Larry Roundtree 47%, Jalen Knox was 14%, and someone else was 11%. So we did have a couple people respond and say who they would pick number one. Commit to the Zoo at Show Me Zoo said they would pick Alberto, and I think that's definitely there's nothing wrong with that pick. I did respond to him, and I just said my only reservation with picking Albert O first would just be
because he would have to play both ways.
Yeah.
And I think there's better candidates to play both ways than Alberto, but I still think he's perfectly capable.
And you picked him, so you're
I did end up picking him.
acknowledging that
Yeah, he was
he's
my
going to get
fifth
exposed
pick.
on defense.
Yeah, he's going to get completely exposed. Just kidding. He's going to be amazing. But I wouldn't have picked him first overall for that reason, but I definitely am happy to have him on my team.
Okay.
The second person that gave a response was Adam Nichols at One Cardinals for Life, and he said he would pick Daniel Parker Jr.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
That is a great pick, in my opinion, and I told you that it was a great pick when you did pick him because of his ability to play both ways. He played defensive line in high school. He played offensive line in high school. He plays tight end now at the collegiate level, so obviously a guy that's extremely versatile, and I think that I probably wouldn't have picked him first, but I definitely think he's a great candidate for this.
I got great value
This kind of thing
in the fourth round.
He's perfect for, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks for that feedback.
Okay, producer Cameron, we wanted to bring you on to celebrate the 50th episode, but another reason we wanted to have you on is because you and I participated in the Fun Acre Open, which is a mini golf tournament here in Springfield at the legendary Fun Acre mini golf course on Campbell Avenue. And last time we talked about it, people really were interested and wanted to hear so much more. So what are we? We are two of the top 36.
Yeah, last year it was
Top 16.
Well, it was top 8, but
Oh, Cameron was top 8.
not this year.
So it was really fun again. I don't know why. I guess just our competitive nature and the fact that mini golf is enjoyable. So just put those together and somebody announces a mini golf tournament, we're probably going to try to be there.
At the course that we play.
Yeah, that we're
the
most
only
familiar
course
with.
we play at.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we don't have as much like bragging rights this year because no players were cut from the qualifying round to the playoff round.
We were seated in the top half, though.
True. That's true. Yeah, we both shot really good rounds in our qualifying round, so we made the bracket, and I had a two-hole lead because it was match play after that when you get to bracket play. I had a 2-hole lead after 10 holes, and I choked it away and ended up losing.
To the brother of the guy that you lost to last year.
The brother of the guy I lost to last year. So their whole family.
That family's just
Out
really
to
pain
get
in your
you.
side, man.
Seriously. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll exact some revenge. But
Any controversies this year?
there weren't really any controversies.
Not that I know of.
No,
There's a different guy running it this
That's
year.
boring.
we didn't have a like tiebreaker situation like we did last year. But producer Cameron, you want to tell them how your match play round went?
Not
Well,
particularly.
this is there is a bit of a controversy here on our hands.
Yeah, I got screwed.
Yeah, Cameron got the worst draw imaginable because
I was like I can't remember what seed I was. Somewhere in the middle.
I don't know.
I was like somewhere around 16.
Yeah,
And the guy who won a different tournament last year
and
played.
the person that won the most recent tournament held at that course 2 weeks before.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
What the heck? Apparently he had a crappy qualifying round and didn't qualify very good. So I had to play him in the first round of the tournament. And like by the 13th hole,
You're already drawing
I
dead.
was already
Yep.
done.
yeah. This guy in a 4-round tournament that was played just before this one, he won it with an average score. Keep in mind at Fun Acre par is 50. He won the tournament with an average score of 36.25.
My
Wow.
best score ever is like 39, which I've not even like gotten close to that.
Yeah. So usually for us, a really good score is like low 40s. We're
Yeah.
feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's where we were when we qualified. You had a 43, I had a 44,
Yeah.
which is exactly reverse from last year.
Yeah.
But this other guy shot a 44 in his qualifying round. Just
so
randomly.
I was seated higher than him,
Yeah.
and I had to play him.
And he's a local legend.
He definitely
He
is.
Wow.
He works there.
Yeah.
So
But so
Well,
that didn't go well.
Better luck next year.
Yeah, it didn't go well for
Yeah.
either one of us. I choked pretty hard. I got really unlucky on the frog hole. I don't know.
That's a doozy.
The ball stopped on that really thin carpet.
On the fine grass.
Yeah, where it should not. It should go in.
I've had that happen, but to me as well.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
So that was pretty frustrating. Other local legend, Don Luzader from the KTTS Go Patrol. Did he win it?
This year?
Yes, he won. I remember.
Yeah. So
he wins every year.
He went, back to back.
Yeah.
He didn't win the year before.
Oh, so he's a repeat champion like I'm about to be the 7-on-7 draft.
That's all that conversation needed to be. So
Yeah. Better luck next time.
You're going to have a real project on your hands editing this tonight.
yeah, tell me about it.
Or maybe tomorrow, or whenever you plan to edit it.
It'll be tonight. Okay.
Okay.
After the movie. What movie
Yeah.
are you going to go see?
We're gonna go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. My wife and I are pretty big fans of Quentin Tarantino.
Let me know how it is.
We definitely will do. We're going to
Let me
Alamo
know
Draft
how it
House.
is also.
We're going to.
Yes.
I'll let you both know
Thank you.
separately.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to Alamo Draft House, get some food,
Mm.
maybe a milkshake. I don't know if you guys know,
Excellent.
but they have the best chocolate milkshakes around.
I've had it before. It's wonderful.
Oof. Will this make the show? Nobody knows.
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, I probably should.
Okay, I got some other news.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr.,
Oh yeah.
the man himself, leaked Adam Silver's contact information on social media.
Adam Silver,
What?
the commissioner of the NBA.
So he did it on Snapchat, and I'm sure it was unintentional, but his post on Snapchat was just it looked like some kind of small venue where there was like a screen at the front, and Adam Silver's contact info was like prominently displayed, like his phone number, email,
He was like giving a
fax
presentation
number,
or something.
social security, everything you could possibly want, prominently displayed on the screen. And Michael Porter Jr. is just like, yeah, it's a good opportunity to take a picture and post it to everyone in the world, and so he did.
You're kidding.
And somebody texted Adam Silver and was like, hey, you might want to not give your contact info to Michael Porter Jr. And Adam Silver actually responded, and he was like, I know, thanks. So Michael Porter Jr. really slaying out in the NBA so far, really killing it. Great to see.
Has not gotten on the court yet, and also has not made friends with the commissioner because he gave his phone number to everyone. Yeah, I did see that. That's pretty hilarious. We can go ahead and announce that we are going to try really hard to be at the Mizzou West Virginia game. So that would be an opportunity to come say hi, maybe.
Is there a bobblehead giveaway that day?
There's no Drew Lock bobblehead giveaway.
Bummer.
We struck out last year trying to get one of those at the homecoming game.
I really
forgot
want one.
about that.
I really want one for the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that. Yeah,
Oh.
come say hi. We will probably be putting out some kind of content with that little day trip.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll try and put something on YouTube.
That's gonna be fun. That's home opener. Freaking South End Zone's gonna debut, and we're gonna beat West Virginia.
There will be selling beer.
We're gonna be
I
selling
guess.
beer, wine, and
Wow.
Really?
all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. At a football game?
Yeah.
Have you not heard about that? Yeah.
No.
The SEC, I guess, individually allowed their schools to decide if they wanted to sell alcohol, and Missouri has decided to do so.
Wow.
They're one of like only 3 or 4 schools
Yeah,
that
not
are going
very
to do it
many
this
have
year.
announced it yet. At least.
I think that's the show this week.
I think that does it for me.
I do want to say, though, just thank you to everyone that's been listening. If you've listened to all 50 episodes, then a big thank you to you. And if you've told anybody else about the podcast or had anybody else subscribe, we really appreciate it. I said it at the beginning of the episode, but this really is the best time to jump in. I think people might get a little bit lost if they start joining in, mid-season and trying to catch up. You can always go back and listen to previous episodes too if you need to catch up real quick, but the longer you wait, definitely the harder that will be.
Yeah, I think we've really it's cool to be part of a community of everybody rooting on the same team, and I don't know, it's been fun. So thanks for listening, and thanks for being a part of Twitter or whatever it is that you guys follow us or take in the content. We really appreciate it.
And don't be afraid to reach out, and if you've got questions that you want answered, hit us up on our Gmail or on our Twitter. Kyle will tell you about those.
I'm going to tell you all about it right now.
So
You ready?
let them know about it.
All right, let's let them know. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcast, and Spotify.
We're on Twitter at Mizzou Sports Pod, and you can email us at MissouriSportsPod@gmail.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at C_Albert08. Thank you, everyone, for listening for all 50 episodes, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Special thank you to producer Cameron to being our special guest in episode 50. We might see him again from time to time, hopefully.
It was a great time.